Tell us your name and where you were born.
Bradford Freeman, Bradford Clark Freeman. I was born at Artesia, Mississippi.
Or do you have any other family members that have been in the military?
Yes. 4 brothers.
When did you join the Army?
December the 12th, 1942.
And what was your motivation for joining?
They told me I could finish up that year in college if I joined. And I done already got my draft notice.
What were you taking in college?
Agriculture.
Where were you on December 7th, 1941?
I was down Crawford at a girl's house. We was at the swing, and a mother came out crying and said, "Go home," and I went home. And when I got home, my mother was crying, and she knew what it was. I didn't know what it was all about, but I soon learned.
And how old were you then?
18, somewhere about that.
Tell us a little bit about when you joined, what your training was like.
Whenever I had to go, I didn't have to go till in April of 43. I went down to Camp Shelby, and they got in and got my uniform, but they didn't have no 6-size shoe. So I had to wear my Sunday shoes to Fort McClellan, Alabama. And we started training, infantry training. And that is in April, May, June, and then 16 weeks regular Army. But they got my shoes pretty quick there. But anyway, then I went to Fort Benning and joined them, and I got my wings in November. And from there, the night that there were 2 planes jumped that night. First time they jumped at night. And then the third plane, it fell out of the sky, and 19 people got killed. So then they gave me a 14-day travel time. I went back home, and I was supposed to be in Fort somewhere, up in North Carolina anyway. And so I was supposed to be up there Thanksgiving Day. I said they should have left me home to eat chicken and turkey, but they didn't.
You mentioned that you got your wings. Would you explain that?
Well, you had to pack your chute and jump it too, but you had to go do 5 times before you got them. So I got my wings. I jumped the 5th time.
And where were you assigned when you received your wings?
I was at Fort McBenney. You talking about when I was assigned to go?
Which was that the 101st Air Force Division?
No, sir. That was the 541st Regiment.
When were you a part of the 101st?
I entered foreign service on February the 5th, 44. And I went to over there, and I landed at someplace. I don't know where it was, but anyway, most of the windows come, got me, and carried me on over and put right in with E Company.
Tell us a little bit about your experience with the 101st.
Well, we jumped, trained, and then from then, it was about the 14th or something other, and from then we trained. I trained with them, and there was about 19 of us, and I was a corporal when it was the 541st. But when I got there, they demoted me, and I stayed there at PFC the rest of the time, and I wound up with the fourth squad, which was Malarkey squad, and it was mortars. And I was in the mortar squad all the time with Malarkey.
Tell me about your experiences leading up to D-Day.
Well, we trained. We tried to. They wanted you to shoot marksmanship, so we went to the rifle range regular, and then we jumped pretty regular. It was all over the country in England, and I didn't know where all it was. Didn't make any difference because we wasn't doing nothing, just training. No. So then we got ready to go jump in France.
Leading up to that, did you have any idea of the massive undertaking you were about to do?
Yes, sir. Because we was around all the other people. Right smart, and we knew what we were going to do, and whenever we went to, we trained in Bristol, England, a lot. So then I don't know where we went, but our plane was higher than the thing was down below. Whenever we went, they carried us out there, and we stayed out there in that camp for 2 or 3 days. We packed chutes and one stuff and another, and then we couldn't map reading and all that kind of stuff. Worked on that, and so whenever we could, if we went, we couldn't get put it close to about 50 feet of the fence around the base. If you got closer, you had to ask the fella in the tower up there if you could go get your ball or something, playing ball. And we was all around that playing ball and stuff and other. And of course they was on guard. Nobody could get close to the fence because they didn't want nobody talking to us. So, and we stayed there until we were supposed to go to Fifth. General Eisenhower was out there with us. Then he left. And so waited till the 6th. And he was back again. And he left us a message that he wanted us to, told us had 8 hours to clear the beach. And they say when we went through Guernsey and Jersey Islands that that is when we knew we was in battle. We got ack-ack. So, and we couldn't see nothing. And that was when the planes spread out. They didn't drop us where we were supposed to, but it was a good thing. So we just from there.
How far off were y'all from where you were supposed to be?
I really don't know where the thing was, but I didn't ever see it. But they told me that we didn't need to see it because we wouldn't have been there if we'd have jumped where we were supposed to.
So tell us about your jump, your experience once you left the plane.
Well, it didn't take long to get to the ground. And the planes were not together, and so they was going. And I thought afterwards that I saw my company commander's plane go by, but I was already on the ground, and it looked like it was just over the treetops going down. Never thought nothing about it being going to the ground, but it did. They was all killed, they say. So then I was by myself, and the moon was coming out from behind the clouds, just coming that way. And it was a pretty night. I had the base plate, and I don't know, I hurt my knee some way or another. I thought I hit a stump. But anyway, it just sort of swelled up on me. And I had the base plate and a folding stock carbine. That was my weapon. Malarkey had the bipod and tripod and the tube. So that's the way it was out there. So then I went to see Lampers, and that is it.
Tell me about your fellow that you helped once you landed. You had to patch up?
You talking about I had to help him? Well, I just went down there and got his parachute, and he found out his leg was broke. And so I just went and pulled his chute out, and he was next to some bushes right next to the road. And I told him I had to go because that was our orders were, if you can help your buddy, if he's in trouble, help him, but if you can't, you had no other place to go. That was our order.
So from that point, where did you go next?
Well, I went and joined up with the company. They was up in the woods beyond. I did find them. That's it.
And how long were y'all on the ground?
Before we got together, well, we was on there, wasn't long. We gathered pretty quick, enough. And we found Mr. Winters. He was there, and Malarkey. Well, just most of us. Well, we were done whatever.
So for the next weeks, months, what did you do?
For that night, we guarded the roads and things. Whenever he picked out, he called 13 boys. He carried them to get the big guns, and they got them, and rest of us was guarding the roads that nobody go down. Of course, I didn't see nobody trying to go down. Well, on the road I was on, so that's all right. That's the way it wound up. And whenever we got back and sort of talked every once in a while, well, there was 5 boys got captured, Germans, and one of them went to school with Malarkey in Seattle, Washington. And then we never knew what happened to the prisoners. So we went on. They took the prisoners the way they went. I don't know. Never did know which way they went, and didn't know what happened to him.
Can you tell us a little bit about Operation Market Garden?
Yes, sir. That was a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and we was well escorted. We had the P-47 below us, P-52 beside us, P-38s above us, and we could see them out the plane, and we made a good jump, and I don't know. I've had 2 or 3 different people say that there was we cleared the field, but there were 2 gliders come in, and they run together and turned right back at us. And we were told that General, well, I can't think his name right now, but I'll get it in a minute, that he was killed there, and so they told me later that he wasn't, but that's what we heard, and so I don't know, General. I'll get him after a while. We went on and went on and cleared. I mean, we went to the bridge, and and then we turned it over to the British, and the British they just came and they stopped there, and then they said that the Germans floated down the river and blew the bridge, and we had done left, and they called us back to help them get the bridge across. So we did that, and then we went on, and I don't know, we just scattered out then and went different ways, and we didn't find too much to do right on at first, but we got it, and we got the folks on the beach very well.
Can you tell us a little bit about the Battle of the Bulge?
Well, we was in Holland and we went into a French camp there, and they gave us a 5-day pass. That is, and we came out in November 29th, I think it was, and we came out to that old French camp and got a 5-day pass to Paris, and 1 day was enough for me, and I didn't, and just hang around in the camp, and we wasn't doing nothing, but they was people. I did go and see the Leaning Tower, but then I had to walk back so where I could catch a bus a long ways, and so we made that trip and got back to camp and just passed around, just hung around in there, but then it wasn't but I don't know, the 18th of December. We loaded up in some trucks and went up to Bastogne. And I didn't know nothing about what was happening below, but we was told that hold that town. And that was our objective, and that's what we're doing. General McCullough was a general, and so he gave us a Christmas card, you might say, told us what we did, all that kind of stuff, and then he told us that the Germans wanted them to surrender, but he told them nuts, and so he gave us a paper with all that in it.
What were the conditions like?
It was cold for a Southern boy. I'm talking about way down.
How far down do you remember?
Well, it was below 5, I think.
I understand that you were wounded in that battle.
Yes, but we were what happened? We was relieved, and we went back towards Bastogne, and went off the road in the thicket there, and dug in. And by the time we got through digging in enough to sort of hit the ground, and instead of knee-deep snow, they told us they had to go and clean out 3 towns. One of them I never can think of, and the other 2 was Foy and Norwell. So they got that, and we was going, and we was playing along, going. Didn't think nothing about it, because we had been there and we didn't know what so they just wanted us to go see about that, clean them out. And so we hadn't even got to the little town that we were supposed to get whenever a screaming Mimi come in and got me in the leg, but it didn't get the bone. It got a leader in my left, in my right there. So we went out, and another boy got hit too, and he was from Erie, Pennsylvania. I seen him one time. We went up Erie, and he was there. So we seen him, but his arm was, he had to do that. My leg got all right, and I come back to him in April.
So, what is a screaming Mimi?
I don't know, but it come in hollering, and it exploded.
How long did you take to recover?
I come back to him in April 15th.
What did you do after the war?
I came home, and I was about the only boy got a job. My daddy had corn. He had moved, and he was back. He was born and raised back where he came. We was renters in 410 acres, so he couldn't have nothing. He couldn't get enough help so he moved, come on back, and I bought him a place up in what we call Sandyland. We were raised in the prairie in the mud, and so we helped him. He had a little corn patch, and my other brothers beat me home, so I was the last one. So we got the corn out. I got a job on the road, just working road work, driving truck, hauling gravel, driving a cat, ditching, first one thing to another. And worked on that 2 years. And then I had sent part of my money home, and I decided I'd farm, and I lost that, so I just went to work at this for one thing and another. And got married, had 2 children, born to the home. Then in '54, there was a mail route open. So, and I talked to the boss, I mean the mail, one that was the mail in charge of it. I'd asked about everything. I got a job with the ASC office and map reading and mapping, and I'd done that before the war, as far as that's concerned. And I got that, and I working with the ASC office, mapping, measuring cotton, and just mapping it out, whatever was in the field, woods and all. And so I just going along. I'd ask the mail clerk and them if there's anything happening and all they hadn't. And I heard that they wouldn't hire a fella who wasn't 30 years old. And so I was working for the gin, and the postmaster came down and told me as of 4th of October, it was 30 days after I was 30 years old. And I got a job and I run it for 32 years. Then I got out, played around with my farm. I bought a farm while I was in there, 86 acres. So
How would you say that your time in service impacted your life?
I had the name of, if I was trying to do something, they always said I would try until I got it done, or either I'd forget it. And that's about it.
So I see your ribbons and your medal. Could you briefly describe each of the medals that you're wearing?
I think blue was Purple Heart, but anyway, this one has got the 4 stars in it, and the Indian rock. And I don't know what all these are. They're good conduct, but my children said that they didn't believe that.
Which one was it? The good conduct?
Yes, they said they didn't believe that.
Now I see you have the rifle up top.
Yes, sir. Two in the Indian head.
And what are those?
Stars. Oh, but it's jumps.
That's
Two combat jumps. And the Indian head, I don't know what that's for.
What about on your right side?
That's presidential thing, the blue. And there's the French. And all them other things, I don't know, they was something. I couldn't get nothing out of them.
Is there anything that you would like to add?
Just proud I made it.
And we're proud to have you here, and thank you for your service. And thank you for your time to come and do this interview.
Thank you.